The whole entrepreneurial spirit honestly was ingrained in me from birth. My father's an entrepreneur. He always talked to me about the benefits of entrepreneurship. As I was getting older, I started to realize to reach where you want to go, you've got to get into entrepreneurship. Okay, but what? So, we're in the middle of the pandemic. I am watching my 4-year-old and my 2-year-old at the time interacting and playing for probably the first time that I can honestly remember them really interacting with one another. I was looking at my 2-year-old and I'm seeing the wheels turning in his eyes. And I'm seeing that just the world's exploding and I'm learned, this is mind blowing. And this feeling of just calm and happiness just completely overwhelmed me. And it was like, this is what you're made to do. This is where you're happy. You've been so unhappy for so long. This is where you're happy. How do you lean into this? My name is Mike Sapperstein, and I first invested in Celebree in November of 2021. I had originally, right out of college, I was in commercial real estate as a broker. I liked certain aspects of it, but ultimately did not like it at all. And within a year, I chose to go back to grad school, where I ended up getting a master's in accounting and then getting my CPA. And then I went into public accounting for about 10 years. I think I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur of some kind. At the time that I joined the firm, my father was a named partner there. While I knew I had a long road to earn my place, I also knew that if I did the things necessary, partnership was waiting for me. I started to realize there will come a point where I'm not going to want a boss. I've got my own ideas. I think I can do things the right way, and I want to go out on my own. So I think my time in public accounting ultimately solidified the mission for me. And that is, you need to find something that you can run, you can build, you can grow, because that's really the thing you need to help kind of complete yourself. So we're in the middle of the pandemic. Everyone's world's turned upside down, and I find myself beginning to follow a lot of young entrepreneurs. And what it hit me eventually was, you're about to be 38 years old. You've got 2 children. You got to do this now, because you're going to hit a point soon where you're not going to be able to take this risk. When you couple that with just not really feeling fulfilled at my current job, I just said, I don't know what yet, but I know I'm done. So the idea of franchising, was there a franchise I would want to get into? Is that something that yeah, but what? I don't really want to do the food service thing. So what is there? I remember I was leaving a lunch meeting in Columbia, Maryland. I just got onto Route 108. I get a phone call from Lou and I answer it. And he says, I figured it out. And I go, figured what out? He goes, I figured out what I think you should do next. And I go, okay, well, what is it? He goes, well, I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is yet. I'm going to tell you the financial model first. He lays that out to me and my response is, scale it, that's phenomenal. Okay, well, what are we talking about here? And his comment is preschool, Celebree. So I get excited about early childhood education, but it's, now I've got to figure out, is Celebree the right partner to franchise with, or do I reach out to, any of the other early childhood education franchises? So we did a meet the team day. So I had a chance to go in and meet a lot of the different directors and C-suite people at Celebree and learn really what Celebree was all about. I came out of that meeting with Celebree. I've never seen it, and to this day I still believe this, I've never seen a culture like Celebree's. The genuine excitement everybody shared for coming into work, doing the thing, doing it with one another, I truly just had never seen before. And I said, I think at that time of my life, I was looking for really strong cultures. And I was like, this is it. If I could go back in time and tell myself one thing, I would say to myself, 3 years earlier from when you left, you knew you were done. You knew this wasn't the right thing. You should have trusted yourself. You trust your instincts. I left on December 14th was my last day. It was a Thursday. My intent was, other than like a meeting with our bank, really did not do any work, Celebree related or otherwise, until the beginning of January. And I found myself spending 9 to 12 hours a day, every single day of that 2 weeks, working on Celebree stuff, and I couldn't have been happier. When it was time to stop working, I was transitioning back into a father instantly. And I go, is this what it means to actually like what you do? Like, is this what loving your work actually feels like? The most rewarding part of this is the smiles on the children's faces. I'll point to an incident yesterday. There was a little girl in the school here who always smiles and gives me a high five, but she's a little standoffish around men. And yesterday when Mom picked her up, I was walking into the hallway. She was at the far end of the other hallway, and she took off like she was my own child who hadn't seen me in like a month, and sprinted to me and jumped into my arms for a big hug, right in front of Mom. It doesn't get better than that moment. Every career has challenges. Very few have a reward like this. If you've got that feeling in your gut that you're in the wrong place and that there's something you were meant for, dive into that and don't look back. Because you'll always ask the question of, could I have done it? And you'll never be happy because you'll know deep down you were probably meant for something more. Don't wait. Go for it.